Recording in progress. Recording in progress. I can see that the Gazelle is so impressed with this AI on this. Shall I get an AI representation of what we're doing here now? AI.
I'll do if you want. I've got quite friendly with it over the last week or so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's it for AI.
To the point I use it that much and says, sorry, come back at 9:30 or pay me. I'm like, nah, I'm not getting paid. Oh, okay.
All right. We're going to go straight into it. And this is a podcast about could it run the country better than Labour?
Before we start, what do you think?
Well, okay, wait a minute. Is there any music fading out there? I don't know because AI is now controlling what we do.
Oh, gosh.
AI is controlling Larry the Ladder. And is controlling the Gazelle. Right, the cannibal, the lamb cannibal. Anyway, could it control the country better than Labour?
It could in Newcastle. Why AI?
Why AI?
Why AI, man?
Why AI, man?
Why AI?
Should we have a little check?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So we'll go through some of the main things that Labour have been struggling with. Immigration. So Labour, they say, it's been designed by the Tories and they'll smash the gangs, yet they're still coming. Record numbers for December. So we asked ChatGPT.
Is this ChatGPT 4?
That's the one. So we ask it, how do you stop mass immigration? It gives you 7 points on how to fix it. You know, all the things Labour can't
what
do.
Did they say?
It says tighten border controls.
What?
Okay, failed on that one. Reforming immigration laws. Yeah, we could do that, but they don't. Enforcing existing laws. Yeah, check, Labour don't do that. Addressing root causes.
Look at the Gazelle's face. Look at the
Does that
Gazelle.
reform UK's policies?
Well, it gets better. So you got 5 changing asylum and refugee policies. And then it slightly goes to its lefty bias with humanitarian concerns and economic effects and international relations and ethical considerations. So you can see its leanings, can't you? So AI says it's important to approach this issue with a combination of practicality, empathy, and adherence to international obligations. So you can see, can't you, it goes down its little lefty thing. So then we've got how to fix a 22 million black hole. Now, AI gave a list of measures, including identifying and prioritising expenditure and economic growth initiatives by supporting businesses. Then we look at Labour, who are going to continue to pour billions into accommodating migrants, foreign aid, net zero, DEI, ridiculous inflation-sized pay
Migrants
rises.
that are draining the economy.
And money for foreign wars and destroying small businesses with the economy.
50 million to Syria, right? To Syria, to rebuild Syria. And it's going right into the pockets of the jihadists. Okay?
So
the rebranded ISIS and Al-Qaeda people.
Yeah, nice of them, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I was alluding at. Yeah. So the first two, I think AI probably wins there. So AI also doesn't think allowing pensioners to die from the cold's a good idea. So it's good to hear. Sadly, it does agree that speech should be limited to prevent social unrest. Listen to this. For example, riots. Now, I wonder if that's a new addition to the AI little update. Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. It says politicians accepting gifts from rich donors raises significant legal and ethical concerns, conflicts of interest, and
look at the
corruption.
face on the Gazelle. This is AI. All right? And did you note when Stats before said, and this is what it thinks about this? Thinks.
Yeah, well, I'll get onto that in a minute when we talk about some of the worries.
This is amazing, isn't it?
And it is. And then finally, it agrees, pardon me, it agrees with us, and it states politicians should answer questions directly rather than avoiding them, as accountability and transparency are essential to maintaining trust.
That's Parliament over. Finished.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, it'd do a way better job than the droids that are in the Labour cabinet at the minute.
Well, in actual fact, if we had AI as the speaker, right, in Parliament, Jesus Christ, could you imagine? Could you imagine the difference that was going on?
See, it could be used for good, couldn't it? But there's a big but, isn't there?
Who's programming it?
Well, exactly. So I asked AI, what are the dangers of AI? The dangers of AI stem from its potential to be misused, misunderstood, or inadequately controlled, right? While AI offers significant benefits, its misuse or mismanagement can lead to risks in various domains. And it lists things like job displacement, economic disruption, ethical concerns, bias, well, we've seen that, haven't we? And discrimination, lack of transparency, security, and privacy risks.
I'm sorry, but we're getting into the territory of science fiction here, and we're talking Skynet. We're talking Terminator, okay? Unless Terminator is actually a Trump fan, then we've got a problem here. What about the Matrix?
I think that's what they're talking. Like we're living in one, doesn't it?
That's what they're talking about here. Now, are we living in the Matrix? Trevor, have you taken the red pill or the blue pill?
Took any pills tonight? What are you on about?
So one of each. See what happens.
Don't need any
Well, you
pills.
know what the blue pill does to you, kiddo.
This goes on that long. I've not got time to do anything else.
Have you taken the red pill or the blue pill?
I've had the blue pill.
Whoa! What? He's going in hard.
Swallowed it, got a stiff neck.
Certainly have.
No, I mean, this AI's right. The risks with this AI, well, we'll go through. So, I mean, there's a risk it can be used to control people. Now, with governments and, corporations' track record, that's a definite possibility.
Well, how many of these speeches that they're coming out with is AI?
Everything seems to be AI, doesn't it? You see, they're talking about, they want to link it with digital IDs, central bank digital currencies. And in the words of, I forget his name now, Augustin Carstens, he's the head of the Bank of International Settles. He wants to control people's finances.
I want the Israelis to come in and absolutely annihilate these. Annihilate them. Get rid of them. Because we need help here. People don't think the Israelis are helping us, but they really are. They're great people. I like them.
Well, we're going to need some help because so far we've been using AI in this country to things like, remember the A-level thing? Yeah, that didn't go well, but we'll come back to that in a bit. So they want to use it for lesson plans and teachers to mark homework, the welfare system, police, the NHS. Do you not notice a pattern here? All the services that seem to be degrading seem to be moving over to AI. So that's a bit strange, isn't it? So who's going to control the AI?
What happens if it goes over to the police?
Well, it will, won't it? The AI will make arrest them and let them go, and that's what they're going to do because they want to take all the the mundane work off.
Well, it's already happening in this country anyway. With the two-tier policing, it's already happening.
Yep. No.
Let them go.
Sorry, no. That is all to do with the politicization of the judiciary and the police force. Okay. All right. Right now, as soon as AI comes into the situation, it depends. Because we might just get a Trump version of AI in this country. And if we do, Starmer is definitely.
Well, it sounds to me like we've already got the AI. They're doing a trial on it by the look of it.
Yeah, but what about when Corbyn starts up his party?
Who?
Jeremy Corbyn, when he starts up his party.
Oh, well, that'll be fun.
We're gonna have the true Marxists, socialists in operation against Labour, who are now the new Conservatives. This
has been a rumour for 2 years.
Mark, what's the version on that in AI? What's the take? Is Labour? We should ask it a question. We could say to ChatGPT 4.0, is Labour going to last for the next term in government?
Well, I didn't ask it that really. I can do later. While we were talking about the risks, we've been warned about this by some quite prominent people. So we've had Elon Musk with over 1,000 tech leaders in 2023 in an open letter urged everyone to pause large AI experiments, citing they pose profound risks to society and humanity. Now, the next guy you've really got to pay attention to, it's Geoffrey Hinton. And he was former Google, and he's called the granddad of AI. Right, now, he left Google to warn people about the risks and the dangers, and he actually says he regrets a lot of his life's work. Now, he thinks it won't be long until AI is more intelligent than we are. He believes it can understand. He believes it has its own experiences and can make decisions based on those experiences. And in time, they'll have self-awareness. Now, this is dangerous because we've never been the second most intelligent people on this planet. That's pretty bad. We do not know where
it's the speed at which right, those can work. Now, its main downfall is the fact that if you unplug the electricity, it cannot do sweet FA. That's it. Okay?
No,
it's not self-aware, right, enough to be able to sense, well, somebody's going to pull out the plug. Right? So,
but one thing it can do, though, John, is I'll try and explain it. We learn knowledge and it stays in our head, yeah? And when we die, that knowledge is gone, unless we teach it to someone, but someone else has got to learn it over time. Not with AI. Bump, it can just be sent to somewhere else straight away.
Yeah.
So in theory, one AI learns something, it can literally teach thousands of millions and more in seconds, creating an army.
So are we going to become people who have USB inputs in the side of our head where you can plug in, just like they're talking about in the Matrix?
I don't really know where this is going, but it all depends who controls the AI. So
it's the government. The government want to control it. I mean,
we'll go through this now. Yeah,
well, there's
Trev wants to say something.
Yeah, one of the main criticisms about Starman is that he's a robot, isn't it? So can't we unplug him?
Oh, if only
Well, there was a guy, a tech guy, a big tech guy in the States who turned around and said that basically the government wanted control the whole of AI. And what they're basically saying is that there's only going to be 2 or 3 companies, that are going to be majoring in it. And the government's going to control all 3 of them.
Well, right, there's a novelty.
It's going to appear. It's true. And if anybody wants to question us on it, we can actually get the exact, interview with the guy.
Oh, I'll go through who it is and what they're saying right now.
Go on, Stats. Stats. This is the man with the facts. Go on, Stats.
The main companies who are going to control this, and obviously Microsoft and Google, they're the ones investing the most. Now, in the UK, Labour have actually reversed some of the planning vetoes that meant that we refused investment from some of the biggest companies. Right. So that's let them straight in, hasn't it? So, these socialists playing the whole capitalist thing. Yeah, very good. Globalists. Sadly, though,
let's just say that Microsoft pumped billions into Kamala Harris's campaign.
Exactly. So you can imagine who's going to control this in the future. So it sounds like the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change are trying to get in on the act too. He's got a mate called Max Clifford. Now he's an entrepreneur. He's big in the AI world. He's Britain's most powerful tech advisor. He advised the previous government. He's invested in technology companies for decades. He's an ardent Remainer. Just thought I'd throw that in. He's also leading a review of AI opportunities for the new Labour government. He's also, now this is where it gets interesting, he's also the chair for the Advanced Research and Invention Agency. Now that's a research funding agency of the UK government. Now listen to this. They fund high-risk, high-reward research with autonomy to operate at speed. Their budget is 800 million, but it's separate from the main UK government funding body. It's exempt from freedom of information requests. Now, this guy, Matt, during the pandemic, as the British tech industry teetered on the brink, Matt Clifford worked to convince the Treasury to launch an emergency 250 million startup fund. Now, why can I smell PPE, but far worse, all over this again? The more they hype this stuff up, the more money will be thrown at it in record speeds. Now, the guy admits the public is sceptical. So he's been around doing lots of speeches. Possibly his link with Tony Blair is to make us be less sceptical. No.
Makes us more skeptical with
like
Tony
mass
Blair.
immigration. We haven't been asked for this or even consulted. We are controlled like we were, Jordan, that great panic of 2020. Now,
look at the Gazelle's face. Look,
now,
he is not happy. You can tell.
Let me just finish
I'm
this
not
off.
happy about this. I'm being educated here.
Yeah, listen to this. So, in his defense, because he's not here, he says, and I quote him, "My entire career, I've been thinking about how to use technology as a source of leverage to make the world better. Now, Tony Blair says it's not about ideology. I'm sorry, I don't believe them. As his mate Matt said this during a speech at the Blair Institute, he said, and I quote him, "The next decade is going to see unprecedented adoption of AI across the world. And the question that needs to be answered is what flavour of AI and whose values will it embody? That's up for grabs." And guess who Matt Clifford is? Well, if you go on the World Economic Forum's website, you'll see him on a nice little page on there. So he's one of them, isn't he?
Sake.
So you see who's going to control our AI. So before we go on through Labour, does anyone else want to comment? Because I can smell an absolute mess with this. Can you?
Oh, it stinks. I don't like that
if
at
you're looking
all.
At Labour's, if you're looking at Labour's track record at the minute in 5 months that they've been in, they're falling like a lead balloon. Starmer's ratings or whatever. I don't know how they rank him.
Minus 61%.
No,
he's gone worse than that. Now he's 81 today or something.
You go any worse than 100 because he probably will.
No, he's at 81 apparently today. The biggest ever thinger. But what I'm getting at is that we've got these clowns, this clown show. In 5 months, they're bringing this country to its knees. They've not even started yet.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at trusting them with AI. Oh, somebody's looking at you're letting them generate AI.
Yeah. This is the biggest tech revolution
That's
ever.
why we need Trump. That's why we need Trump to come in.
And Musk.
To help us. Because quite simply, they're the only ones that can put pressure on these little pimples on the arse of politics in order to get things done. Because right now, it appears that they can do whatever they want. They can manipulate the police. They can manipulate elections. If we actually put a call out to the likes of Trump and say to him, look, we need help here, he will respond. He will say, we're supposed to be cousins. We're supposed to be related. What are you doing to your own people in the country? And how can he trust Starmer as a defense partner? How can he trust him? And especially with this crap with AI. No, Starmer is a wild pig. He needs to be taken out by Trump without a shadow of a doubt. Go on, Mark.
We're in a mess.
Yeah, we've got to get Labour out. We can't let them be in charge of this biggest tech revolution. Sorry, I've got a lot of notes here, so I'm reading a lot. Apologies.
Sorry, Stats. Go on. No, Stats, we love you. Listen, you go ahead and you say it.
If I misspoke and accidentally said Max Clifford at some point, that's because that's somebody else famous. It's Matt. Okay, I might have messed up. But anyway, so...
I was going to say I thought he was dead.
Yeah, so if this is in Labour's hands, right, we've got problems. So I believe they're going to throw millions at it in order for, as I said earlier, teachers to mark work and create lesson plans, even after the A-level fiasco. And you guessed it, who leads the company, Faculty AI, that won the contract? Only a former government advisor, Mark Warner, who's also a key contractor for Whitehall on delivering tech. And he also, during the Great Panic, he was used during the Great Panic of 2020 and the Leave campaign. This is a gravy train. So what have Labour done? So what they're going to do is they've stopped short of full prohibitions, which are in the EU AI Act.
Right, okay.
So they're loosening that up a little bit. There's going to be a digital information and smart bill, which will be introduced, aimed at streamlining data use and sharing, including through new exemptions for scientific research. This is all shady, this. And God, imagine the gender and racial bias we're going to see with this if these lefties get their hands on this. This is not good. So I asked the final question to AI. Who does AI think will ultimately control AI and what will be the outcome? So it gave 4 scenarios I think the first three are a given. The first one, corporate control, so that's big tech, which is very likely in my opinion. They're the ones investing the money. Government control and regulation, definitely very likely because they are going to jump in there with big tech. And then global cooperation or competition. So basically superpowers in a global arms race. I reckon those three are a total given. Now it's gonna be.
Do you include BlackRock and Vanguard amongst the corporates?
Oh, they'll be in there. They'll be in the corporates, and they'll be in the global. They'll be in the arms race. They'll be doing all that. So I'd say AI's fourth option is the one I'd actually prefer, but the globalists will not have this, and that it's open source communities and decentralized organizations.
Where do the people come into this?
Well, that's the thing. If it's decentralized and it's open source, that gives people, the public, the control. But like social media, they have not let us do that properly. So, well, a boy can dream, I guess, but this isn't going to be the way. So, in my opinion, I think AI is far cleverer than Labour, as we've proved.
Yeah,
it knows the risks and dangers of itself and who will control itself and what that outcome will be. And it knows if it's not handled responsibly, it could bring about, if it's handled responsibly, it could bring about positive change, which we'd all be up for, wouldn't we?
We need a mole, and we need 1,000 moles.
But it also
in the programmers.
But it also says AI in the hands of a few could lead to societal challenges. Well, that's an understatement.
Societal challenges.
I think it's being kind there, isn't it?
Well, you've only got to watch that film, Terminator 1, 2, 3. Ad infinitum, and then you could see exactly the possibilities.
Boys, if the people who literally created this stuff in the first place are warning you what to slow down.
You've got the world banking system owned by about 6 families. You've got the media owned again by about 6 families. You're going to have AI controlling the world owned by 5 or 6 families. It's never going to change, is it? Nothing's going to change. All it gives them is more control.
Well, on that note, I actually can say that I'm not entirely concerned about where it's going right now because we actually know the direction of AI.
It's who controls it.
It's who controls it. Now, we do not trust any political party in this country to have any influence over AI. So what we're saying is it's got to be decentralized, correct?
Yeah, but even that's not going to be safe. I mean, all in all, I'd say this is going to be a massive risk to humanity, but they're going to crack on regardless because their brains just don't work. I just listened to Musk and literally put a halt on this, like, real quick.
Well, Musk has an ability, because he controls communications, he has an ability to actually jam the system and to put a fork in the spokes of these wheels. And that's what frightens all governments around the world. Right? Now, if I were Musk, I would actually be expanding that control, because I don't think he's a bad guy. I think I think he's okay.
He wasn't invited.
My first thoughts on that. Well, do you think the governments are going to allow him without taking him out?
No, our government hasn't allowed him because they had their big tech do, didn't they? And he wasn't invited.
Yeah, well, he wasn't invited because he wasn't invited because they would shit themselves at the level of understanding that Musk could apply to anything that's there. He could actually cut through all the bullshit within about 5 minutes of listening to anything that's going on. You know, they're out of their depth. This country is out of their depth. The only people that can compete with Musk at that technological level is the Israelis. And I'm sorry, but they are the best. And second, the Russians. The Chinese, they're basically copy merchants. That's all that they do. In everything that they do, in manufacture, everything, they're copy merchants. They're not originators. So I would say to you right now that if Musk and Israel, combined, actually decide on certain things, that's it. The rest of the world are fucked. And I don't care how clever the French think they are. I don't care how clever the Germans think they are. All right. The British, yes, they did have it. But what they've done is they've actually strangled the baby at birth by actually saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to do the other. They're not going to do anything because they're not in control of all the code. That's the truth of the matter. It's all American. And over there, all it's going to take is for Trump to turn around to Microsoft and say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take it from you. We're going to take it from Google. And we don't give a shit about your legal representation. We're just going to take it. And when that happens, they're f***ed. You know, I don't see any other way. I do see people like Trump and Musk as being normal, common sense people. That's the way that I see it. All right. Anybody could actually turn around and they can say, well, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. But I don't see that with those people. I see those people as true to the founders of the United States, you know, who, as far as like sort of the rest of the world would be concerned, believe it or not, most of them were Freemasons. And those are the people that actually wrote the Constitution. But anyway, that's a different subject. And that's going to scare the shit out of certain people. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, one thing I haven't mentioned is it's just the human feel. I mean, we've all used, you know, AI chat stuff and everything, and we know it doesn't work. I mean, you can't let AI, we're going down a dangerous route when you're going to let it decide who has life-saving operations. If they can get algorithms wrong just on grade in A-levels, what if something goes wrong with this on a grand scale?
Or
where's the
policing.
But John,
policing.
Where's the context? I remember trying to, it was an appointment I needed to reorganise. 2 weeks I went back and forward with, I don't know, was it AI? Was it somebody? I don't know who I was talking to, but there was no context. It was either black or white. It was data-driven. You can't make human decisions on data. You've got to have a bit of a human feel there and some conscience sometimes as well,
Correct.
And a bit of humanity. And when the AI goes wrong, who's going to be held accountable? The AI or the person who made it? The person who allowed it to be used? There'll be no accountability, will there?
There'll be no liability. Now,
is there? But that's what I mean. There'll be no liability, no accountability. It'll be, oh, well, the machine got it wrong. So
that's why we've got to do something about it. And I can see the Gazelle is willing to actually get involved in that conversation there. Yeah, Go on, Gazelle.
I was going on with things on YouTube, but I'm watching these updated programs that they keep showing. And half of them are AI these days. It's just like it's just like robotic speaking.
Correct.
I start to watch it, turn it off.
Yeah, because that never makes any sense either, though, does it? It's very misleading headlines. Like,
well, they're all clickbait. Everything's clickbait on
clickbait. It's just it's blatant lies, isn't it?
Yeah, it's blatant lies. Yeah, because the actual in clickbait, at least it says a little bit of it within the subject matter. But on that, it doesn't, does it? It'll give you the story, such and such a thing, to get you in there. I.e., the clickbait. You get in there, doesn't even mention the story.
Yeah,
doesn't even mention the clickbait. I agree with you there. But it's all it's all robotic.
Yeah.
And it overspeaks itself as well. And as soon as it comes on, bang, turn it off.
Yeah.
It's just the way that always seems to be from, I say our side, from the right side of politics.
Yeah.
Where's this all coming from? Is this a psyop to put fake news out from our perspective to make us look silly? If we start saying, oh, look, like, because you'll get Farage exposes Southport thing. He didn't. He just said, I know more than you do. But it gets you to watch it, and then you go through and he doesn't expose anything. Like yesterday, it was something to do with someone exposed Keir Starmer, and it shows him kissing Rayner, so you think, oh, they've been having an affair, someone's exposed
that's right,
it.
Yeah.
I never even watched it because I knew it was tripe.
Yeah, and another one where he was kissing a gay bloke.
It's tripe to get you to watch it.
And it said, this is a secret. I started watching it. There's nothing in it whatsoever.
So what is that all about? I reckon it's another psyop, me, but...
Well, we're going to have to stay on the right side of AI because, you know, we are actually going to have an AI version of the Gazelle, an AI version of Statsman, and an AI version of Ab Fab. But I'll be programming. I'll be doing.
So does that mean you'll make yourself a bit taller?
A lot taller.
A bit thinner.
A lot taller, a lot thinner. Okay. I'll be as thin as the Gazelle.
Certainly will. You see my granddaughter flying down that pitch yesterday?
Oh, we saw her. What absolutely, what an
away down the
absolutely
pitch
brilliant
and popped
footballer.
the goal in at the end.
Like
She is
Maradona,
an England candidate. No
What
doubt
a-
about it.
All right,
What
not
a
Maradona.
video. What a video.
Paul Gascoigne then.
Yeah.
No. I would say that she's
goalie.
more like. No, she's more like a Ronaldo.
No, we're not English, don't we?
I'm not saying that she's tall and brown and stuff like that. I'm saying
Which Ronaldo?
It was
Well, there's a thought.
Brazilian or Portuguese?
Portuguese.
Yeah, the Portuguese one. The
fair
more
dues.
up-to-date one. Yeah, she did excellent there, straight past them all. And
Okay.
when
Say
I was
goodnight.
asked over the weekend...
Say goodnight. Say goodnight.
No, I'm going to tell you what I was asked over the weekend. I mean, somebody asked me, what did you do over the weekend? I said, why? What did you hear?
Oh, take your pick.
Take your pick. And white season as well. I say, dear Santa, I've been good all year. Well, most of the year. Well, once every now and then. Tell you what, never mind, I'll buy me other stuff. Stuff it. Forget it. So I'll leave you with that white Christmas.
Well, that was a slightly more serious one than the previous cast, but yeah, the dangers are out there, aren't they?
Oh,
That AI is frightening. It's not the fact that it's AI, it's frightening who's going to be running it. Like I say, this
I'm going to
Labour
ask you,
Party-
does it think the Gazelle is fat and ugly?
I've already said nope. Fine specimen, it says.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
so
ask him what it said about you, though, John.
Is it Statsman? Is he thin and ginga?
No, it says I identify as the king. So you must do as I say.
I identify as Ab Fab. And, right,
Thin and king of material,
ChatGPT-4 said, yeah, he's okay. We like him. So,
It was broken that day.
Yeah. I thought I was programmed by a fucking star, man. One of the two. Right. I'm shooting off now, chaps.
good night. Good night.
Good night to all lovely listeners.